fighting gyms or any type of martial art gym is a great experience and a great decision you can make and a great journey you can be on as a young person to really mold your personality.
What is going on, everybody? How we living? I got my boy Vinny S on the pod, brother. How are you doing today?
I'm feeling great. Got good friends around me, good people around me. My family still loves me. Um, you know, uh, I'm glad I'm able to sit here with two of my best friends right here. These guys always have my back, and I'm
Absolutely, man.
excited to get into a conversation for the third time because we can post the first two.
Hey,
Because
there's some great content within the first two.
there is some great content from the first two, but the first one I was being a bit too loose-lipped, if you know what I mean. And the second
Yeah.
one, it was out of focus the whole time. So
But I feel that one could still potentially get some great clips out
because I'm very smart, and I say very smart thing.
of.
No, I'm kidding.
Exactly.
But yeah,
Absolutely,
let's
bro.
get into it.
Let's get into it, brother. So, let's get right into fighting because both of you guys are fighters, right? Both of you guys good fighters. You've been into the dabbling within the industry for now, what, 5-6 years?
5-6 years for me, and Mr. Zachary back here has been in for how many years? About 3 years for him, about 6 for me. Mixed martial arts, kickboxing. So,
Very nice.
what questions do you have about that sport?
All right, well, it's a plethora of questions that I could potentially ask.
It's a nice word.
Absolutely. But we'll get into a simple question. What do you think is the best fighting style somebody should learn?
The best fighting style someone should learn is if you're in high school, wrestling. American wrestling overpowers pretty much any form of fighting. Like American wrestling in a street fight. I know that word likes to be tossed around a lot. Street fight. Street fight makes no sense. But in hand-to-hand combat, American wrestling or Dagestani Russian wrestling too, sambo, just grappling in general is the best basis for a fight you can possibly have, because if a grappler gets a hold of you, it's over. I don't care how tough you think you are. If he gets a hold of you, it's over. If somebody that's a skilled grappler gets a hold of you, it's over. This man has won gold at jiu-jitsu tournaments. If he gets a hold of you, I promise you it's over. You can think you're tough. You can think you're strong. You can bench 285. I don't care.
That ground game is
ground-
different, bro. If somebody knows how to grapple on the ground versus somebody who just knows how to throw the hands, throw some kicks, bro, once you get in on the body and you have control, that is a different scenario. Absolutely different. So it's night and day, and I definitely agree with you on that aspect. But I also believe being able to throw punches and being able to throw kicks is huge, especially if you're in a street fight as well. But if somebody were to come at your legs and blast W, pile drive your head into the ground.
No, listen. If you're a boxer or a kickboxer like I am, if someone wants to throw hands, we can throw hands. I'm not saying I'm looking for a fight, because I'm definitely not. Fighting is probably the stupidest thing you can do as a human being. Let's bash each other's bones over each other and get brain damage. Like, ooh, cool.
Yeah, not that cool.
Tough guy contest.
That's what we were talking about on the last podcast. A lot of fights don't really originate from two men in a room chilling. They come from a lot of people being extremely drunk and having an ego contest, is what we were talking about. Like, oh, I could mess you up, blah, blah, blah. Or some guy going up to your girl thinking he has like a shot and just being that hothead. And it just becomes an ego contest, like we were saying. And that's where a lot of fights originate from. It doesn't really come from grown men being sober, having a good talk. It comes from that alcohol being mixed in with the blood and people just getting aggravated because they're more hot-headed from the liquor. That's where a lot of fights stem from.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. So I'll take it this way. If we were to take two random dudes from the bar and put them in this room sober, they would not start a fight. But say we were out and one of those guys had a girlfriend and we maybe looked at them the wrong way or whatnot, everything that starts a stupid fight for some stupid reason. There would be a fight next to a bar for no reason. And that's why I encourage people to try and not get trashed when they go out and, really, really have some respect for yourself when you go out because definitely go out, definitely have fun. But when you're going out, be smart because you could easily get into a fight and somebody could have a knife, somebody could have a gun.
Exactly.
It's just not a wise thing to do. It would never happen if everybody was sober.
That's why it's better to be level-headed and really able and aware of what you're doing at all times. Because when you do get extremely drunk or extremely impaired, that's when you're not aware of what you're doing and you just start acting out of impulse and just doing things that are like the here and now. And you are more susceptible to your emotions that you're feeling. So like that anger that you feel within that moment is going to be like times 5, times 10. That happiness that you're feeling is going to be 5 times because of those impaired emotions that you're feeling. So never listen to your thoughts or your emotions when you're drunk. Listen to them when you're at a sober level head.
And that's tough to do when you're drunk.
Absolutely.
But don't go out thinking you're a tough guy because there'll be another guy thinking they're a tough guy too, and you'll get into a very bad situation. And don't get involved in those situations. I hate to be a whole drug and alcohol program on this podcast because I like to have fun. I like to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like right now. But definitely do not go out looking for a fight. It can only end up in bad situations. And plus, most people don't know how to fight. They don't know the repercussions of a fight. They can be very serious. Me and Mr. Zach over here have brain damage, definitely. And it's not a game. We're playing with years of our lives, but we do it because we love to do it, and it's sport, and we train, and me and him have beat the shit out of each other over and over and over again. But it's not out of bad blood. When it gets out of bad blood, dudes won't stop. They'll get on your head and start pounding your head in, or you will do the same to them, and it never ends well.
Yeah, nah.
But let's move off the topic of that. I think we've explained how stupid street fighting is.
Don't get into street fights. If you're gonna fight, go into a gym and train with some people who are actually well versed within the sport.
We'll take care of you. We will not, like I am, me, myself, and Mr. Zach over here are the type of guys you'll meet when you walk into, say, a boxing or MMA or kickboxing gym. We will take you under our wing, and we will be uber respectful towards you, and we will not pummel your face in, and that's not out of ego. That's out of job experience type thing. You go into a new job, and somebody knows how to do the job way better than you. They're not just going to sit there and say, oh, I know how to do this way better than you. I'm not going to teach you. No. We enjoy teaching people the skills of martial arts, and it is a great thing. It can really help your spiritual and just like your mental health. Going into a fighting gym, I think it's very important for young men, especially, and young women if you're struggling on that aspect. Fighting gyms or any type of martial art gym is a great experience and a great decision you can make, and a great journey you can be on as a young person to really mold your personality.
Wow, that's very well said. I love how you said that. So now, since we're switching off the topic of fighting, we can go more into mental strength. Now, say somebody doesn't want to just go in and start pummeling around and they want to build some mental strength. Some tips that I would give them, which what me and you were on pretty heavily, was ice baths. Surprisingly than not, ice baths are awesome and super beneficial to your mental strength. And some of the reasons why I would say why is because you are pushing yourself through this discomfort that you feel for 3 to 5 minutes, however long you do it. And your body and your mind is telling you, get out of here right now. You're going to die. You're freezing cold. What are you doing in here? And completely overcome those thoughts and say, no, I'm not going to listen to my thoughts right now. I'm going to stick in this ice bath until that timer goes off. And that right there is just kind of bringing your mental strength up and helping you get through harder times that will come in the future. And just that little 3 to 5 minutes, even if you can relate it to fighting, you can relate it to the gym, pushing yourself through some times that you don't really want to be going through, but you do it anyways, just because you know you're gonna gain a better result and a better outcome from it. So push yourself through some discomfort, and you're gonna grow in so many different aspects of life: physical, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, the whole 9 yards. You have anything to say about that?
So going back to ice baths, me and Derek here went on a little bit of a ice bath journey, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Like, mountain man, like I want to be a badass type of journey, and just going through cold weather and horrible hikes, just getting uncomfortable is very important. I know you hear this all over. I know everybody hears this like, oh, you got to get out of your comfort zone. That's how you improve. But so I'll break it down like this so it doesn't just sound like that. Ice baths, it's like getting a dopamine rush in a good way. Getting a dopamine rush can be achieved in all sorts of ways. All sorts of ways. It can be achieved through, I won't put it on the camera. It can be achieved through booze, through nicotine, through a whole bunch of things. But a good way to get dopamine rushes in a super healthy way is the battle you go on with an ice bath. So if you really take an ice bath, like water that's 35 degrees, say, and you hop in there for the first time and you've never done this, if you get like, you're going to get like 30 seconds to a minute in, you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't do this. This is insane. Why do people do this?
Yeah.
But if you can stick it out and you can calm those thoughts down and you can stay in there for 3 to 5 minutes, and this is for the people that, people who have never done this before. And I'm speaking to you. People who have done ice baths before, like, oh, why are you glorifying this? Oh, it's just like simple, like, okay.
It's not as simple as
it's
you
not.
think. You know it damn well. Come on.
It's people who are experienced in this subject. It's not as simple as, oh, you just get in, get out, good therapy, da 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 da. That's what it is for experienced people. But unexperienced people getting in an ice bath is a big step on a very good journey that you're going to take. So I encourage people who have never done ice baths to definitely try it out, because you will go through mental battles that you never thought were possible. You will really test yourself. You will really find out who you are. If you can last in an ice bath, if you can battle those thoughts, those inner demons, and wash them away, and that 3-minute timer hits, you come out feeling like a whole new person, because it is a rough time. It is
Absolutely.
It is a very rough time.
I agree.
Your first few, like, even just turn your bath all the way cold and then hop in it and try and stay in it. It's rough, man. It is rough.
It is.
The first few times.
Give it a shot. All of you guys watching, give it a shot.
The feeling you get when you come out, you're like, wow, I accomplished something. And that's a big thing. That's a big thing with mental health. People say, oh, just talk about your problems. No. Talking about your problems over and over just gets that in your head more, and it sticks your problem on you. Don't go out and talk about your problem. I know that's like, oh, you're so alpha male. Oh, you don't got to talk about your problems. Of course I talk about my problems sometimes, but it's not the main way I get out of them. The main way you get out of problems is by acting in a positive way towards those problems. Taking an ice bath, going for a run, hitting the gym, just being active, running errands, taking care of stuff you need to do. Like, it's not just sitting there moping about it and being like, oh, this is my problem. I'm struggling with this. Can you help me? No, help yourself. Help yourself. Please help.
You heard it here.
Please help yourself by doing activities that will benefit you, hobbies that will benefit you. Say martial arts, ice baths, running, any of that. Do hobbies that will benefit you. Change yourself. Don't just mope about your problems. It's not going to help you. And I say this from a place where I've tried both, and one of those has worked for me, and one of those has made it worse. So that's what I'll say on that.
Very well said, brother. And always believe that you can accomplish something. Don't just think that something is extremely impossible. Like, don't just think that something is impossible. Anything that you do and anything that you can put your mind to that you believe is possible is possible. So keep pushing yourself. Zach, how we doing?
Good. How are you, bro?
I'm doing great, bro. Yeah. So let's talk about this fight that you got coming up. You actually just got yourself signed up for a fight recently, right?
So, I was supposed to fight in April. We were looking at a card out in Long Island, but fortunately, due to just not agreeing to terms with the other guy and some injuries with one of my teammates that I was supposed to fight with, we were supposed to be on the same card. We just kind of fell through.
Gotcha.
So we're looking at a card in July now.
Nice.
So I'm pretty pumped for that.
Yeah, I'm pumped too, bro.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are you gonna do to get yourself prepared for this fight?
So usually just training a lot more, getting in more sessions than usual. Going down to Brooklyn and Philly to train with some of the higher level guys that some of my teammates train with.
That's awesome.
Just getting more work in, eating better. In the gym, my training is totally like weightlifting wise. My training has totally shifted to better prepare me and get me better focused towards this fight. So I'm
absolutely,
pretty pumped for it, dude.
That's awesome, bro.
Thank you,
And
man.
has the way that you've been training changed from you preparing for fights? So say you're preparing for wrestling versus preparing for an MMA fight. Is that a different type of training that you would go within the gym, or is it?
I mean, yeah, like weightlifting, like in the weightlifting gym at least, there's a lot of like MMA focused
Movements
with like, I'm trying to think, like one of the ones is like dumbbells, just consistently going like this for like 3 minutes, 2 minutes.
Nice.
Just getting myself.
It's like those active movements.
Yeah, active movements and just keeping myself in the best shape I can.
That's good.
So it's really not like I'm not doing heavy lifts, like I'm not deadlifting or like benching or anything.
That's awesome, bro. So now let's get into the mental aspect of it all. So now I know that fighting is huge on the physical, but I also know from experience that it is also big on the mental.
Yeah.
So you have to be completely mentally prepared before you go in and step in and face a guy one-on-one in a bloodbath almost.
Definitely. It's funny you bring that up. I've actually been the gym I go to, there's this guy who has an office there that's a mental like coach, like mental fitness coach, and I've been working with him for the past like 2 months maybe.
Wow.
He's been absolutely awesome. He gives me like weekly worksheets to like fill out and like get my mind right and like what I need, like visualization and like meditation, stuff like that. And that's really
awesome.
helpful.
Yeah, so if you don't mind sharing, what kind of work does he put you through? Obviously meditation, but is there other stuff that will get your thoughts right to the point where you can have yourself in a mental state before you go into a fight?
So a lot of it's like what we've been working on the past like week or two is like red light, yellow light, green light type of thing. Like when I'm in the green, like this is what I'm thinking, this is how my body language is, and this is what like I'm portraying as myself, like I'm good to go. And then like yellow lights, like when I'm starting to lose it, and red lights when like I'm out of control.
Yeah.
So it's just basically noticing and acknowledging what those signs are that I'm getting into those worst situations, like yellow light and red light, and just getting myself back to where I need to be.
That green
like,
light.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like something simple like going like this, just to, like reset myself, or like having like a dumb as it sound, like a catchphrase almost, like just to like, all right, I'm here, I need to get back to this spot. Just a bunch of stuff like that, and
that's good.
just better ways to think about stuff.
Absolutely,
It's
bro.
been
That
helping a lot.
beautiful. Hopefully it continues to help, and hopefully you get that strong mentality
I'm
come July,
dude,
right?
I'm excited. It's
Yeah.
helped up. Past like 6 weeks have already helped tremendously. Like even in MMA, like I've always had, like, not that I've had insecurities or troubles like going into it, but it's definitely been, my confidence has shot up, and it's definitely showed throughout my training.
That's good.
Like,
because it's big within confidence, within
Exactly.
fighting, within anything. Because especially when you're competing, you got to have that confidence and belief in yourself, or you're not going to perform as well.
exactly.
If you have doubts within yourself, if you're looking at your other opponent, you're thinking, "Oh, damn, he looks pretty good," you're not gonna perform as well. You have to almost have full belief in yourself
Yeah.
that you're capable of
Exactly.
completing the task.
Exactly. You almost have to be like cocky on the end, like not like cocky, like oh I'm better.
Humble and confident.
Exactly, but like in the way this guy Dan has been telling, like cocky on the inside, like I'm the best, like no matter what. But you can't like act out on that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But it's a good way to think about it, at least.
That's good. So
thank you.
getting into fighting wrestling, because you also wrestled in college,
Yeah.
breath work is huge. So I'm not saying like practicing breath, but when you're in a match or a bout, if you don't really know how to control your breath within the fight or within the match, you're going to gas out so fast.
Exactly.
Your muscles won't get enough oxygen, so then your body won't be moving at the pace that you would like it to. So breathing is huge
Definitely.
within fighting in any aspect, because your body and your muscles need that oxygen to fuel your muscles and your movement.
Exactly.
So have you learned anything with breath work and stuff like that?
I mean,
Or
not-
do you just go like kind of in through the nose, out through the mouth when
yeah, it's not,
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't really learned any like what's the word I'm looking for, like steady,
Techniques,
steady
almost.
techniques, but like
Mm,
it's never really been an issue for me, so
Yeah.
to say.
that's good.
Just in through the nose, out through the mouth.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Finding comfort in the uncomfortable.
Finding comfort in the uncomfortable. There you
Exactly.
go.
That's good for sure. But also what helps with breath work and what helps with training is cardio. A lot of cardio.
course, yeah.
So running, stairs, like I know you know stairs well.
I
If you're a
know
wrestler, come on now. All those wrestlers out there, you know the stairs.
Stairs are my worst
That's
enemy.
that's your worst enemy and your best friend at the same time. You gotta cut weight, you gotta lose 3 to 4 pounds.
Like four
Hit the
sweatshirts.
damn stairs, brother.
Go to the stairs. Oh,
Hit the stairs.
I think about it every time I walk up a flight of stairs.
Yeah,
Trauma I have.
Absolutely. Vinny S., you want to hop back on the mic for a time? Yo, hey, Zach, thank you for hopping on. I really appreciate your input.
That's a smart man right there.
Yeah, great man, very knowledgeable within the topics of fighting. So, Vinny, since you are back now,
I'm back.
you're going to choose a topic and you're going to get right into it.
Okay.
Let's
Topic.
go. We can talk about confidence, because I know you have
Confidence.
some interesting takes on confidence. So you guys listen to what this guy
So-
has to say.
I hate the word confidence. I really do. Because I feel like it gets misconstrued every time it's used on a social network, social platform. They say this is the way you build confidence as a man. And they say man because they just like to exclude women because like they just pop in their mind as like trophies. But so confidence. I feel like influencers online and just people online use the word confidence to get people hooked. And I hate confidence. I hate that word because confidence is often misinterpreted as being less humble. And being humble is the most important part in being a person. Humble and humility is something you should cherish as a person. And confidence, it's a good word at its roots, but I hate it because I feel like confident means being less humble these days, and the way you be more confident is being more humble. And ways I like to do that is really going and exploring things that make me more humble, doing hard work, seeing people in harder places than you are. It really helps with your overall being and understanding, and knowing when to shut your mouth is a big part of my life. I love being able to shut my mouth and listen to somebody else talk. It makes me feel like I'm actually a respectable person because I can sit here and not cut someone off and let them talk. And that comes from my life experience, whether it's I hate to put it out there, but working with poor people, donating to the poor, being in shitty situations at a fighting gym where I'm getting my ass whooped all day, or just really being down in the dumps, being broke, being brokenhearted, all that stuff, it really helps mold you into the person you want to be. Like
Absolutely.
like hardships are what creates glory as a person. Like a man or woman who has had it from day one, and I'm not saying it doesn't take hard work to get to places, but say you just don't mess up at all and you go and you get your degree or you do this and you do that and you're just set. You get your job, you make your money, and you're good. And then there's schmucks like me who think they know it all, and then they find out real quick that they don't. And they have to learn the hard way. And that is being down in the dumps. I've been homeless. I've been, strung out on cash. I've had to really, really make decisions that don't kill me, essentially. So where I can provide food for myself, just myself at this moment. And that has really made me a person who has been able to have good friends, have my family respect me more, be that person that can be there for people. Like, I know the least humble people I know leave me on delivered in red. Those are the least humble people. You don't want those people.
You don't want those people in your life.
These two, Derek and Zach, are not those people. That's why I'm here with them now, because they have always been there for me, and I have always been there for them.
Absolutely.
Like,
very well said.
I could go off on tangents of how these two have showed me that they are there for me. And trust me, it's not like just what you think. It's more than that. It's not just like consoling somebody when they're crying. It's not that. It's like them just doing something that I didn't even expect them to do, or that I won't use my personal life into this. There's a person who does things for you that you wouldn't even expect. You're like, wow, they went out of their way to do this. I didn't even expect this. They are definitely my friend, my brother, my sister. Like, and that is irreplaceable. That is worth more than any dollars you'll ever make. And now that I'm in a good position, I can say that, because I've made some money. I've made some good career choices recently, and I can respect that a whole lot more than I used to, because when you don't succeed at all, you don't really feel what it means to have good friends, feel what it means to have your family respect you, because you're just living for yourself. And the second you stop living for yourself is when you start succeeding for yourself. When you start,
that's huge.
When you start like caring about what others feel more than yourself, that's when you start succeeding. And I know that's hard to believe, because I'm just going to sacrifice all my brain power for these other people. But you cannot go through this life alone. And I say that humbly at 22, because I have not had enough life experience to say things like that. So I say that very humbly, and I expect to get critiqued, and I expect to get corrected, and that's fine. And that's how you grow as a person. I didn't get here not being critiqued at all. The reason I got here is because I was critiqued and bashed and shit on and all that. You don't become a better fighter. You don't become a better person without somebody else being better than you.
Absolutely.
And you have to look to that person and understand that they're better than you, and say, how can I learn from them? How can I steal what they have and place that inside of me without being a complete asshole?
And that comes from being humble.
And that comes from just accepting that you aren't important. And I know that's like, oh, what do you mean? I'm important. I need to talk about my problems. No. Please, just understand that your problems don't mean shit to anyone else but yourself. Disregard all your problems and all your hardships and say, this person knows more than me, is more experienced than me, is better than me. So how do I get to their level? And it is very possible to get to their level. You just have to sacrifice all your ego and all your pride and just listen. And if you can listen and learn, it takes you miles.
Being humble is massive, and I really liked how you touched on it. You touched on it extremely well. But if you do plan to learn within things, don't think you know everything. And if somebody's already ahead of you and they're in a place that you want to be in, learn from them. And that comes from the art of being humble and being able to expand your knowledge through learning. And obviously, if you want to learn something, you're going to have to accept the fact that the person that you're going to learn from is better than you within this field and within this subject. So put that pride aside, put that ego aside for a little bit, and really just think, how can I benefit from this situation? How can I benefit from this almost mentor teaching me what he has learned through his trials and tribulations of what he's been through and where he's getting at? So humbleness is huge.
And I would like to add, it's not always obvious for a lot of people to tell when somebody's better than them at something. Like, you might not know it. Like, you might think you're better than your friend, but if you're really realistic and you look at it from an outside perspective and think, man, maybe I'm the dumb one in this situation, and not just because they're your friend and you think you know them, or they're that person and they're this way. Oh, they're a klutz, so they're not really there, and I am. You're thinking about it wrong. You just got to look at everything from an outside perspective and really take in what's happening in the situation, because you could be right, you could be smarter, that person could be dumb, but that's rarely the case, I would say, unless you're hanging around really shaky people, and that can happen. I've had a few of those come in and out of my life, and
Yeah, it happens to the best of us, man.
and you just learn that those people, they won't stay in your life. If you're thinking about a friend that you have, right, and you're like, I don't know about this person, I'm not too sure about this person, they probably won't stay in your life. Like, never have I had a thought about either of these two that I'm like, I'm unsure. It doesn't happen because they've showed me who they are, and that was enough for me to trust them with whatever it is I need or whatever it is I am. And that's important. Your friends can sometimes be more important than your family. And I know that's a shock, but in your life, your friends can sometimes be more important, because that could be the people that you hang around more than your family. You almost have a little bit of like disdain for your family. I'm not saying you hate your family, of course. I love my family, and I learn from them, and the reason where I'm at, the reason for the place that I'm at is because of them. Like 90% of it is because of them. And what I'm trying to say is, in this new age, everybody kind of just like is pushed to get away from their parents, move out as quick as you can. And I moved out at 18, 19, and that wasn't on my own accord. That was because I was being an idiot, and I got thrown out. But really listen to your parents. They're always going to be there for you. But your friends are going to be the ones that really mold you in your early 20s, your late teens, your mid 20s. The people you hang around are going to mold you into who you are. So if you hang around people that try and start podcasts, people that try and fight for a living, people who take big steps, people who work 2 to 3 jobs, like this man, Derek here, he works a shit ton, and he gets off and he does this because he has fun doing it and he loves it and he really has a passion for it. And that's why you see the content come out, and it's better than somebody you would expect that is just starting
out. Yeah, it's not bad. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. And no, I say that seriously. Because you see a lot of people try and start shit and they half-ass it. This man has a whole setup. He invested a lot of his money into this, and it's no joke. Like,
Much
I'm a serious
appreciated, bro.
guy, but I can tell what is happening around me, and that's why I've been able to do what I've done. And I don't say that like I'm some hot shot. Like, I've done a fair share of things, as these two would attest to.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I just hope the friends that are around you are good people, and they'll be able to mold you into the person you want to be. But if they're not, then
Find some new friends.
maybe it's time to look for new friends in new places.
Yeah.